Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at MAKER. This is going to be a lower time frame video. We have done a higher time frame video up above, so check that out if that is more what you are interested in. We'll give you good context on the waves we're going to be discussing within this video. Okay, so let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, so the first thing that I want to go over here is the idea that we could still be potentially looking for this as a corrective structure to the upside. Now we have looked at this as a three-wave move up, three-wave move down, and now we have a three-wave move to the upside. So this could be simply WXY here, and then we actually still look to break down from this point. Now if we are looking at this as a corrective move to the upside, what we could have here is that we could see this continuation in this way where we get this as an A, we come back down and actually hold this as a support zone and then look for this possibility of a C wave up. Alternatively here, we need to be aware that there is the potential that we could start to break down in a C wave, where if we do start to lose these key levels, particularly this low here, the 663, and then this low here of this 509, that we could potentially be looking for this 341 to this lower range here, which could be this 1-to-1 at this 165 level. Now there is also a bullish case here where we would be arguing that within this structure we could have this as 1-2, and we're still looking for this third wave pushing up towards this 1618 area here of this 1459. We do have the idea that we could actually be extending out here where this is 1-2-1-2 and then a direct extension. So we're going to go over this one first. Now if we are looking at this as a 1-2, looking at this as a third wave, looking at this as a fourth, and then looking for this fifth wave to the upside, the only issue I have with this is that we didn't achieve 1618 so far with this wave 3. Now this is potentially meaning that we could see something else happening here where we could either see this fifth wave extend out, or potentially we could be already extending where this is 1-2-1-2. Now if we do see just a normal 5-wave move in this case, our typical zone we'd be looking for a fifth would actually be up here towards this 1-2-3-4 to this 1-1-3-6. Now the key thing here is that we currently only have corrective looking structure to the downside, and we have come into this zone here. What I'm thinking is that we still have an additional drop here, looking at the structure where this is 1 2 3 4 5. What we could be looking for is the potential to come down one more time here, and if I throw this 1-to-1 on this 773 level as a potential 1-to-1, but this would actually look to invalidate this idea of seeing this extension because we can't cross this 773 level. So if we do see price hold this level here where we're holding this 833, then potentially what we could see is this potential of a 5-wave structure to the upside. If we ever lose this low here, it starts to become more likely that we have one of the other counts in play where this corrective move is still looking to actually push down lower. So I'm going to leave this on here for a second. The idea here is that if we do get this as 1 2 3 4 5, we get a 3-wave move back down here, looking to hold this support zone of the 765 to the 607, and then see that continuation up here for this third wave towards this 2684 invalidation at that 511. Now the other way that we could argue that this is taking place is that we could say that we have this as 1-2-1-2. Now if we fail to hold that fourth wave area, the next place I would be looking for here as a potential support zone would actually be in between these levels here, this 895, which we've already come down. We've come down into the 50% already. So the next place that I'd be looking for would be this 797 to the 785 as a 0.618. However, we do see that our 1-to-1 is lowered down here, which would actually bring us back into these highs towards the 702 at the 765. So if we do see price come back into these levels here and we do look to retest some of these lower zones, really as long as we hold this zone of the 734, we do have the possibility of continuation up. If we start to lose this lower level, it becomes more likely we're going to see that continuation down. So we need to be careful of that. If we do see price come down here, A, B, C, what I want to see then is 5-wave structure moving back to the upside here, where effectively we'd be looking at this as 1-2, 1-2, and then what we'd want to see ideally is nice strong volume looking to push price up towards this 1764. Now that would be based off the 618. If we come into that high, it would be slightly lower towards 17,000, towards 1702. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on this one, but it does have potential to find support here and look to push to the upside. We need to see more confirmation because at the moment really as long as we actually fail to move back above this high of this 960, I would be on the lookout that potentially we could still see that downside looking to actually come in here. So that downside, should it come in, could either mean that, like I said, we are either looking for this bigger C wave to the downside here, where we're saying that this is just a B wave and we're looking for a C wave directly down. Or alternatively, what we could see is that this move could just be forming a bigger corrective pattern, in which case what I would probably think is going to be likely is if we do see a bigger 3-wave move to the downside here, we're possibly going to look to sweep some of these lows that we have here and possibly even come back into the 786, which would be this 592, looking to actually come back down again below some of these levels. So that would be very interesting to see if we do actually move down that deep. But like, as well as that, you know, towards the higher end of the support zone, yeah, we could potentially look to retest this 50% at the 737. So the idea here would be that this would just be corrective, though, if we do move down past this low of this 664. Then we would be looking out for just the possibility we have a 3-wave move here, either a 5-wave or a 3-wave move up here. And then from there, we would have to reassess, because that could actually be our corrective move completed to the upside. And then we see price actually start to fall off from those levels. Having a look at the daily CPR, what we can see here is that we are currently below these CPR lines. If we do continue to reject off of these, what we could see is price could get gravitated towards the downside. Some targets for this would be this 812. We have this 760. We have the 684. And this 632 as potential downside targets for today. If, however, we start to reclaim these and we do look to move back to the upside, I will be keeping my eyes on this zone here of this 939. We have this 1012. We have 1067 and this 1140 as potential targets for today. But this would rely on us getting back above these CPR lines. Now, if we look at the weekly CPR, what we can see here is that we've actually come down and we've already hit this S1 target. Targets still open for this week are this S2 at the 732 and this S3 down here towards the 616 region. If we do look to move back down here and we do look to find support, possibly we could look to retest this 846 level as a possible support zone before looking to try and interact with these weekly central lines here again. If we do see price look to reverse to the upside here, what we can see is price move back up to this 1076. We have this 1191 and this 1304 as potential upside targets for the remainder of this week. Now, looking at the monthly CPR here, what we can see is that we are still currently above these central lines. So if we do see price come back down here, we could potentially look to find support at this 782. We have the central line here at this 731 and the lower line here towards this 683. So this would align more with the idea of the corrective structure if we come back into this lower line here. However, these two higher lines here would align with the idea of seeing this actually work out within that 1212, where we actually could potentially come down lower here, look to find support, and then look to push up directly. So gonna have to keep an eye on that. If we do see price come down into these levels, possibly we could find support come in here, but we have already hit this S2 line to the upside during this month. If we do look to move up higher, we do have the 1305 area open as an S3 target, and if we do lose these central lines, then we do have the downside targets of this 608. We have this 386 and this lower area here of this 258, which could align with the idea of actually seeing continuation to the downside in that bearish count that we have. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on these. Price doesn't always have to hit these levels, but if we do reach them, often there is an interaction and a pivot off of them. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.